Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again. Today we're doing a LEGO Lord of the Rings minifigure comparison. As you can see, I've got all of my minifigures sitting in Rivendell. On the top, we've got the new ones from 2023, and then along the bottom, we do have the originals from 2012 and 2013. Now, I won't be doing any more LEGO videos on my channel. This is the last one, maybe ever, but at least for a long time. So I wanted to go out with a bang and really show off just how much LEGO has changed in the last decade. Starting with the ring bearer himself, Frodo Baggins, both of these minifigures are pretty good. They both have short, dark green capes and short legs, but of course one of the biggest new upgrades is the addition of the bare feet made with dual molding on the new figures. They're both carrying Sting and the One Ring. The One Ring is the exact same mold. The Sting of 2012 is slightly softer in detail though. The hilt is much more detailed on the new version, which, sorry, let me just spin this around so you guys can see it. And it does have a textured grip and a thinner blade. So even though the pieces are similar, it's still interesting like just how much they differ. The torso print on the old one is arguably a little bit more detailed because it has more wrinkling. But again, the new one just reflects LEGO's modern design standards a little bit more. The faces are the most interesting parts of this figure to me. But the faces are the most interesting parts of these figures to me. Because look at the old face, like to me, that looks a lot more expressive and arguably modern than the basic smile on the 2023 version. That is something that I'm a little bit surprised about. I don't really know which one I like better. I'm leaning towards the original actually, because the smile is nice, but it looks so generic, you know, like that could be anybody. So I don't know, it's just interesting. They do have the same hairpiece as well, and you can see that the dark green color of the cape has changed over the years, which is another thing I wasn't expecting. And then they do each have the stabbed by a Morgul blade alternate face. Once again, the newer one is much like softer in detail when it comes to the face. You know, Sting might be sharper, but the old faces were a lot more expressive and I guess a little more comical, but I actually kind of prefer that. Like, I don't know. This face is definitely good, but the old one just has a little bit more going for it. Both of the figures do have back printing, and this is one area that hasn't really changed much. The new one is definitely better in my opinion, just because it has a little bit more detail. Next up, we have Samwise Gamgee, Frodo's best friend. He is carrying a frying pan in the new set, but once again, I kind of prefer the old torso. This one is, like this one has his coat buttoned up, right? Because that one has the coat open, so they're slightly different. But I like the belt buckle and the little bag on the old one better than the lack of detail on the new one, although I do like the open coat and the buttons on the new one. The biggest difference here besides the feet is, of course, the hair color. LEGO has changed it to a dark orange, which I don't really agree with. I think that the lighter color looks a lot better for Sam in the original movie. I don't know, it's just, this is just too much color. That's not how he looks. The face print is once again a smile versus like a sterner expression, and both of these guys have alternate faces as well. Let me just pop those hair pieces off, and there we go. Again, much more expressive. I definitely like that face print compared to this one. I don't know what it is about the face prints. Like, I don't know why they've changed so much, but I never expected to be saying that the 2012 face prints look better than 2023 ones, but here we are. The capes are different. I like the sand blue better than the dark gray. And the back printing is, once again, better on the original because there's just more detail. Next up is Pippin, and he really shows, again, just the difference in torso details. Because the torsos are pretty much exactly the same. It's an open dark blue jacket with a scarf. But the old torso looks clunkier, you know? It looks heavier, like the clothing just looks kind of thicker. And the new one is much smaller, more streamlined. It's just, again, it's an interesting shift in graphic design over the last decade. I do like the face on the new one better, though. Like, that's a fine face. Again, it is very expressive with that little squiggly mouth, but the new face is just so cute. I love it so much. The old one did have a green cape, and the new one has a brown one. I don't know, like, which color they were wearing in the movies, but there are the alternate faces. Again, a little bit more expressive on the 2012 version, but I still really like that alternate face print. To me, these like face prints are the closest that they've been for any of the minifigures we've seen so far. And the back printing is nearly identical. It's a little bit hard to see because it's just black on dark blue, but yeah, that is very, very close. And last up for the Hobbits, we have Merry, who once again has a different hair color than he did in 2012. He had brighter hair in 2012, and now he has lighter hair in 2023. I actually think when compared to the movie that the lighter hair works, But to me, like, he and Sam should have the same hair color. They shouldn't have swapped hair colors, which, as you can see, is what ended up happening. I think that they should just both have the lighter hair color. If one of them had to have dark orange, though, I would still give it to Mary. The torsos are, again, very, very close. It has just gotten sleeker. That's the only real difference. So I don't have a big preference over these, although I'll say that the new one just does look a little bit better. So I don't really have a preference over these, but I will just say that the new one, it looks better. You know, it's the modern graphic design style, and it's not like there's anything really different. Although I guess they have eliminated the little like triangle of skin tone, which makes the new torsos more useful if you want to put a yellow minifigure on them. The expressions here, I'm going to give it to the new one. Again, this expression is fine, but that one is just a little bit more mischievous. They do have the exact same color of cape, although again, the color has shifted a little bit over the years. And then we have an angry face for the 2012 version, and we have a happy face for the 2023. I'm going to give it to the 2023. I do like that better. And now let's take a quick look at the back printing, which I'm sure is going to be basically the same as the Pippin minifigure, where it's just pretty much the exact same detail on both. I was wrong. We actually have one more Hobbit to look at. We've got Bilbo Baggins. We have the old one on the left and the new one on the right. Of course, this isn't a direct comparison because this is young Bilbo and that is old Bilbo. But it's great to see the character back again. I really like the older variant, and even though it's not a direct comparison because it's not the same outfit, I still thought that it would be cute to show them. We do have a scared face on the 2012 version, and we do have a precious face on the 2023. Moving on to the dwarves, we're going to start out with Gloin, Gimli's father, because as you can see, he actually accompanied Bilbo on his journey to the Lonely Mountain. This is the young Gloin minifigure from 2012, I think, or yeah, 2012 is when we got all of the dwarves, so he's definitely from 2012. And then this is the new one, the old Gloin, who attends the Council of Elrond in 2023. I love, again, getting a young and old version of the same character. And you can see the biggest difference with the dwarves is that they now have medium legs. So they're no longer the same height as hobbits, which is accurate in Tolkien's universe. I'm really happy that LEGO went that extra mile. And of course, they've got a completely different beard design, but that's okay because I think you're entitled to change the way your beard looks after like 70 years. But next up is Gimli, and he's the one I've really been waiting to talk about because I think that he's had the most changes of any minifigure so far. I mean, just look at how different he is. First of all, he is taller. Second of all, they've changed his hair color. They've gone from reddish brown to dark orange, which I do think is more accurate, even though I never had a problem with the reddish brown in the past. He has a brand new mold for his axes, unlike the old figure that was just using a regular Lego axe. But even the helmet is new. That's a new beard mold, even though it looks like the old one. You can just see in certain areas how it's thinner because it does accommodate a hairpiece over the back. And the helmet is totally new. I thought that these were two reused pieces when Rivendell was revealed, and I'm really happy to see that they aren't. But it's the kind of subtle change that you don't notice until you have them side by side. The old helmet is way bigger. Again, it's hard to notice until you really look at them together. You do have a molded detail all around the old helmet, though. That's just printed onto the new one. So that's another big change, and that does give this helmet a slight upgrade over the new one, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not phrasing that correctly. But you know what I mean. This helmet definitely has the molded detail going for it over the printed detail. However, the new one is smaller, and it does fit more delicately over the beard and like the hair. So I am happy with the new one because it still captures the essential appearance of Gimli's helmet, but it just shrinks it into a smaller size. The torso prints on both figures look good, although honestly, I prefer the 2012 one. I like the dark red, and I said this in my Rivendell review, but Gimli's torso just seems weirdly flat for 2023. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of depth, and I'm surprised that the 2012 version actually has more depth. The new face print looks good, although the old one did have a double-sided face, and that's something the new one does not come with. Gandalf is another figure who received a massive upgrade in 2023. The new version is really perfect. Like, I don't have any complaints with it, other than, can we please get a molded staff eventually? I understand why we didn't get one in Rivendell, but I would like one in the future. He does have a dress piece now, which is perfect to represent his wizard robes, the same exact beard mold, and we will take a closer look at the faces in just a second. You can see it's the same staff and the same wizard hat. No reason to change any of those things. The other big difference is just that he does have a soft, like looser cape now, rather than the starchy cape that the old one had. Here's a closer look at the torsos and face prints. I do like the face on the 2012 figure better. I don't know if the one on the 2023 figure is new. It seems like it's been reused to me, but the printing design on the torso is definitely better. Again, it's not that different, but it just looks good. And then spinning them around to the back, you can see a lot more detail on the back of the 2023 figure, all the way down into the robe, which I love to see. Boromir is another character I was really excited to look at because I think that he was good back then, but he's even better now. The torso and leg prints on the original were good, but I do like the full blue and red appearance of the newer version. It just seems a little bit more regal and interesting to me. The new shield is also way better than the old shield, which was still great for the time, but the new one is just so cool, so much cooler. The swords, the new sword definitely wins because it's a brand new mold and it is more accurate to the movie. I mean, I love the old sword piece, but it's just not as accurate. And then the face print. Again, the face print in 2012 was perfectly fine, but the face print in 2023 I think is even better. It does have a lot of expressiveness to it. I like his little smirk, and they do have the exact same dark orange hairpiece, although again, in person you can make out just some slight little differences in color. You do have an alternate angry expression on both figures, and once again, I think that the new face actually, it looks better in terms of the beard, but I like the gritting teeth on the old one. But I mean, I still think I prefer the new one more in general. And there's a quick look at the back printing. The 2012 figure had pretty decent back printing for the time, but the new one does have that belt continuing around and some metallic silver detail. Aragorn is the only member of the Fellowship actually wearing a different outfit in the Rivendell set versus the original minifigure, but the new one is just better. I really like the torso and leg print. The old one was good as well, but again, it's a different outfit. It's hard to compare directly, but I also really prefer the new face print. The old one is like a little rougher and like scrappier, like maybe this one is a little bit too happy for Aragorn, but I still think it looks really good, and I don't know, I like the little smile on him. He does have a brand new mold for his sword, again coming from that weapons pack, which looks incredible. They both have very basic back printing, but this Aragorn does have the better back printing, and then they both have an alternate face as well, with them screaming in anger. I do think I like the new one better still, even for the angry face. And lastly, we have the elves. Here is Legolas. I think that the old minifigure looks great. Love the torso print, love the leg print. The new one is definitely better. The torso print is just way shinier, way more interesting to me. I also adore the dual molded legs with the sand blue and the black boots. I think that that just looks perfect. We also have that brand new elven hairpiece, which really works well. Although I don't love it on Legolas, I kind of do prefer this hairpiece. And this face, while I don't necessarily like it better, I like that it was unique and created just for him. It's got the high cheekbones. I don't think it looks particularly like Legolas, but the new one isn't the best either because it was created for young Han Solo and it's not made just for him. Moving them around to the back, you can see that they do... Oh, well, I mean, you can't see it because their hair is covering it up, but I was going to say that they have back printing. So let me go ahead and remove that. I mean, you can't see that both of the hair pieces do still have that classic elven braid in the middle. Whoops, sorry, everything is shaking. But yeah, they do have the braid, so that's nice. And they both have angry expressions. The back printing on the newer one is better, though. For Arwen, we have the same issue of her old minifigure wearing a completely different outfit, but I do like the appearance of the newer one. I mean, the sand blue was nice, but I also really like the white, and the chest, like skin color printing on the old figure is not good, whereas it's pretty good on the new version. She does use the same hairpiece as Elrond and Legolas, while she did get a unique mold just for herself in 2013. Yeah, this was 2013, not 2012. But she also has the old slope brick dress, which means that she is taller than the other minifigures, and that can be a little bit awkward. She did have a unique face, though, and that is something that I'm really missing on the new Arwen figure. I don't like the face print that they chose. I don't think it looks like an elf whatsoever, and I really like this face. Again, it's got the very high cheekbones, but I think that it looks good, and I mean, I really like that alternate expression as well, and this face just does not cut it, in my opinion. I think I found a solution, though. If you just take the head and hairpiece from the old figure and put it on the new one, you'll end up with the perfect Arwen. I'm actually really happy with how this looks, and I might try buying a duplicate of the 2013 Arwen just so that I can do this. And finally, we have Elrond, a minifigure that's actually changed quite a bit in the last 10 years. I don't even know how to feel about this, because on the new one, I really like the torso and the legs. I like that he gets that dress-like robe rather than just printed legs. But the old figure is amazing with this two-toned cape. and a special hair mold that comes with the crown molded in instead of printed. I was kind of missing the cape on the new figure. I thought that he deserved to have one, and I mean, honestly, I really think that it just completes the look. But I don't know, I like the printed crown, but I also like the molded crown. The printed one does have like finer detail, but I don't know, it's not like I needed a molded crown for Elrond, but it's just kind of cool to see the mold on the old one. Both of the face prints are good in my opinion. I do kind of like the newer one better. I don't know, I think it's cuter, and I do like the printed crown, just the way it was designed. And the old one does have an alternate face. I mean, both of them have the same kind of stern alternate face. I do wish this Elrond had printing on the back of his robe, since all of the other figures in this set do. I do like this one's expression better again in 2023. And let's take a quick look at this guy's back printing, which, why is his back printing better? I mean, it's not as shiny. I like the shininess of the new one, but that is a pretty cool design, and I would have liked to have seen that on the new figure. And yeah, I had to try the old hairpiece on the new Elrond, and this definitely does not work as well as Arwen. It's just awkward that he's wearing two crowns, but I do prefer this face print to the other one. But I also feel like this hair is too long. For this style of figure, I think that the hairpiece that LEGO picked was perfectly fine. So that about does it for this minifigure comparison. Honestly, the original figures are fantastic. I mean, the new ones are definitely better, but the old ones still really hold up to date, which I'm very impressed by. I'm really excited to see where the Lord of the Rings theme goes next, and while unfortunately, as I said, I won't be doing any more LEGO YouTube videos, you can still see pictures of my new builds on Instagram at GoldenNinja3000, and I'll still be doing videos on this channel. I'm just going to transition it away from LEGO and more towards like superhero like products and prop replica reviews and stuff like that. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos, even if they're not LEGO related. Bye for now.